Happy day, friends. Jake here. I need to make another video on Mio. I released my initial impressions video and came away very hopeful. The art style is striking, the music is atmospheric, the combat felt solid, nothing crazy, but it felt good. But what really hooked me was this promise of exploring a brand new Metroidvania from a developing team I was unfamiliar with. The vessel, as the game calls it, should be just ripe with these secrets and lore and world building to uncover. And after my first 2 hours, I walked away feeling excited and optimistic. Now, the game lays out a very clear goal pretty early on. You're supposed to explore the ship and reactivate these pearls or caretakers. They've been dormant, and that's why the vessel is decaying and being overrun. The caretakers are these like body parts. It's the eye, the breath, the spine, the body, and the hand. It sets this clear expectation that you're going to have objectives that will bring about new areas and new biomes and enemies and unique settings. After those first 2 hours, I was honestly ready to dig in and sink hours into this world. Now, looking back, there were some early signs that I kind of recognized, but ignored. After the crow boss fight, I feel like I just hit a wall. My paths started to loop back on themselves. The unlocks kind of hit a lull. And I kind of just brushed it off as this normal, like, hey, this is Metroidvania pacing. It can't all be, like, there's a bit of back and forth. You get lost. That's part of the game. I even said in my original video that, like, I didn't understand why people were complaining about the run back. You die from a boss and you got to run back to it. You know, did you play Silksong? Some of those boss runs to get back are brutal. That's kind of the nature of the game. So I'm not going to complain about that at all. Within those first couple of hours, I honestly didn't think it was a big deal and it didn't bother me. At this current moment, I've put in a little over 4 hours, and I absolutely understand the criticism. Exploration started to feel stale. I was just going through the same places over and over again. I wasn't pushing into any new biomes or areas. It became this game of just opening up my mini-map and looking for whatever path I hadn't explored yet. And honestly, again, this is normal Metroidvania stuff. I'm used to this mechanic, except I was just hitting dead end after dead end. And not just dead ends where you can see that there's an ability you don't have yet, and then once you unlock it, you'll be able to go back. I mean literal dead ends. There was even a spot where it was one of those instances where it was a dead end with an ability I clearly didn't have yet. I got that ability, came back to that spot, got to where I was previously stuck, and then it led to a dead end. Like there was nothing. It didn't, like I was like, why did I just need to jump up here? Like, am I missing something? I honestly felt like I was missing something. And now, if this happened once or twice, I'd be able to forgive it. It happened over and over. I just began to clear out the map for the sake of clearing out the map. I wasn't progressing anywhere. Okay, so let's get back on track with this body parts objective, because there's something there too. I eventually unlocked one of the 5. I think it's the eye. And boy, was it underwhelming. Like, shockingly disappointing. There was no boss fight. There was no, like, character interaction. There was no big story beat. There was a tricky and kind of frustrating platformer you had to get through. And then you just walked into this chamber where this kind of broken down eye-looking thing was hanging from the rafters. It talked to you and dropped some lore that I have no understanding of at the moment, and then that was it. Like that was literally it. I didn't get a reward. There was no unlock for it. There was no, like, I don't know. Again, I was like even the music was kind of like setting up for boss fight. And I was like, oh, here we go, boss fight. Nothing. Nope. Talked to it. Went back down to the main, vessel at the bottom. And it's like, yep, you found the eye. Time to find the other 4. And I just had this moment of like, what was that? I didn't do anything. I pretty much just walked into a room and walked out, and it's like, you did it. And this is honestly where that run back issue really started to hit. Because if I'm just gonna do this over and over again, I'm not excited about it at all. Dying sends you back to the same place every single time. There's a little central hub where you die and reset, and then you have to run all the way back to where you last were. So yeah, early game, not a big deal because it's a small map. You're not running that far. Later game, where the map is opening up, that's a big problem. You know, let's say you die 10 times to a hard boss, and that boss, it's a 5-minute run back to him. You have an hour of just running back to that boss. I mean, that's not fun anymore. That's just bad game design. Like you need a spawn point right before. It doesn't have to be right outside the boss door, but come on, over and over again, that got old. I'm only 4 hours in, a little over 4 hours. If I'm feeling it now, I do not look forward to what it will be farther down the road. And last little thing on those boss runs, I hope this changes down the road, but there's not even really a challenge to get back to where you were. I'm actually kind of shocked how little enemies there are. There's been a couple of spots where a challenge room has locked you in and you have to beat all the enemies to progress, and they throw like 4 little of those little mosquito guys or little like grunts at you. It's not a hard challenge. So then you just kind of sit there with like, well, what was that? It just feels half baked, honestly, or they just didn't like think through what this would look like when you had to do it, you know, 30, 40 times over. And I mean, y'all know this, in a Metroidvania, exploration is the backbone of these games. You have to want to keep digging. And it kind of sucks right now because I keep going back and looking at some of the trailers for this game and looking at the crazy enemies and platformers and like environmental design. And it's like, man, that looks awesome. Where is that? I shouldn't be 4 hours in and kind of being like, what am I missing? Like how much more do I have to get before that cool stuff happens? I mean, I've only done 2 bosses too. Over 4 hours and 2 bosses, and those first 2 bosses were within the first hour and a half of the game. That means I had 2.5 hours of nothing, just clearing out dead ends. So yeah, I don't know. My opinion on Mio hasn't flipped per se, it's just changed a little. I still love the art, I do still love the music, and the overall atmosphere has potential. I'm just starting to worry that that potential is not going to pay off. If the exploration is already starting to lose momentum and that run back design just gets worse, then I'm gonna have a hard time finishing this one, which just sucks. Now, if you're in the early game, you might be feeling the exact same thing I did in my past video, that excitement and eagerness, and I honestly hope you're the type of person that can get past it. Me, as a ADHD riddled gamer dad who doesn't have as much time to play as other people, I'm kind of out. I know I'm gonna come back to it eventually, but at the moment I got better games and other things that I want to do. Sorry, Mio. Anywho, thanks for watching. Thanks for paying attention to Mio. I'm probably gonna move on to the next. Right now, I'm streaming Tainted Grail, Fall of Avalon, and I'm loving that game. So make sure you check me out on Twitch and YouTube Live every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. CST. Subscribe and like to the channel for more indie games, and I will see y'all next time. Love you, bye.